during the course of 102 days away from competitive golf. The only professional Rory McIlroy played with socially was Tiger Woods, and he could hardly be considered a reasonable yardstick with which to assess the state of the Northern Irishman's game. McIlroy, therefore, was as intrigued as anyone to see how he would fare in the first round of the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship on Thursday. Had Rory been fooling himself with how well he'd been flushing it in practice, or would he be proved correct in believing he could come straight back out and think in terms of winning? Rory McIlroy returned with a 3-under par 69 at the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship. It was an encouraging return for the Northern Irishman, who waited 11 holes for a birdie. McIlroy will be pleased with his display, but Tommy Fleetwood stole the show with 6 under 66. In this regard, he couldn't have hand-picked two better playing partners to measure himself against than world No. 1 Dustin Johnson and Europe's No. 1 Tommy Fleetwood. McIlroy beat the former by 3 shots with a bogey-free 69, while the Englishman played out of his skin to steal the show with a 66. It left McIlroy in buoyant mood, believing his pre-Masters targets of a couple of victories to be realistic. My expectation coming into this week was that I could win, because after such a good break I think I'm nearly the most prepared for a season that I've ever been, he said. But even when you think you're doing some good stuff in practice, you never really know until you get out there and play alongside the likes of Dustin and Tommy with a card in your hand. So I'm pleased not only with how I played but how I managed myself. I started with 11 pars, but didn't lose patience and start forcing the issue. Even though Tommy had got to 4 under by that stage, Fleetwood showed how much his confidence has soared following his excellent 2017 season. Fleetwood was in the 3-ball with world No. 1 Dustin Johnson, centre, and McIlroy. I felt my swing was under control and I could hit all the shots I needed. The first birdie of the day, at the 12th, the third on the card, was followed by a majestic 5-iron at the par 3 7th that nestled adjacent to the flag. Another birdie at the 8th and he was home in a useful 33 strokes. It was entirely typical of Fleetwood to extol the virtues of his playing partners. I think this was probably the best 3-ball that he'll play in during my life, and then go out and beat them. In simply taking up from where he left off last year, the unassuming scuzzer highlighted all his understated gifts with an accomplished display. He never missed a green in regulation and never looked like dropping a shot. No question about it, he belongs in this company. I just had the ball under control all the way round and my lag putting was good as well, so it felt very stress-free, said the defending champion, who is joint leader with Japan's Hideto Tenihara. Among the group on 67 was Ross Fisher, another of the plethora of English contenders for Europe's Ryder Cup team. Matt Fitzpatrick shot 68 while Tyrrell Hatton shot 69. For Johnson, it was a difficult day compared to those of his playing partners. The world No. 1 went round in a level par 72 and has work to do Friday to challenge the leaders.